One of the most important decisions when you're moving to Dubai is the area that you decide that you are going to be renting in or buying in long term. And I've moved here to Dubai over 2 years ago from Europe as an online entrepreneur, and I've been actually very fortunate with my choice of location. I really love the area I'm in. I haven't got tired of it or I haven't started hating it, but that is not the case with a lot of people. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you which are some of the best areas to live in my opinion, when it comes to moving to Dubai. Now, one important disclaimer for me to make is that there is no such thing as the best area to live in. There might be, though, a best area for you. It really depends on your preferences. Are you looking to live in an apartment? Are you looking to live in a villa or a townhouse? Are you coming alone or with your girlfriend maybe, or your wife? Or are you coming with a full-on family? Obviously, all of these differences will highly affect which area might be the best fit for you personally. So this list is going to be coming from the perspective of me, a young entrepreneur coming from Europe who wanted to enjoy a better quality lifestyle and enjoy the sun and everything that Dubai has to offer. My name is Vince from Peak Zone, and we help entrepreneurs relocate to Dubai, open their companies, get residency, bank accounts in record time. And not only that, but we can also help you with finding the right apartment for you to create the exact lifestyle that you want to have here in Dubai, and just in general help with the entire relocation process. So if you're interested in working with us, check the first link in the description down below. And now let's get into the list. So the first category that I've made is all of the waterfront areas and the best ones that are available there. There is actually quite a lot of amazing waterfront areas in Dubai, and obviously they tend to be on the more expensive side because waterfront real estate is always expensive. But if you're coming here to this amazing country of the UAE, you probably want to enjoy also the summer throughout the winter, so to say here, and also you want to enjoy the beautiful beaches and the sunshine. So the first area that I'm going to say here is Creek Harbour. Now I think Creek Harbour is quite underrated for living. I personally haven't lived there, but I have quite a few friends who have, and for how much it costs, I think it's quite good value for money. There aren't many tourists there at all. It's mainly just residents who are living there, so it's quite a calm and peaceful area, and there also isn't much traffic there, generally speaking. You also get nice waterfront views all over Creek Harbour, and again, like I said, the real estate prices are quite reasonable for renting. Now, one thing I do want to say is there is not necessarily like an actual beach there, it's just waterfront view, but still you get the breeze from the sea and also the nice view of downtown. The main con that I can see for Creek Harbour is that it's a little bit far out from everywhere, so you will need to drive quite a bit if you are trying to get to Marina, for example. Now, the second area recommendation is Emaar Beachfront. I am actually in Emaar Beachfront right now, and this is where I've been living for the last 2 years. And I absolutely love this area. It's super beautiful. The views are, in my opinion, some of the best views that you can get in all of Dubai. The prices are quite high, but you can get some pretty good prices on 1-bedroom apartments, for example. One thing that's a huge pro here is that you have an actual beach that you can access as a resident here. So the buildings are literally beachfront. You are about 5 to 10 meters away from the beach at all times. You have amazing views of both the Palm and the Dubai Marina. So in my opinion, it's just overall an amazing place to live. Now, there are some negatives and downsides. So there are some coffee shops and a couple of restaurants in the street, but currently, as it stands right now, there is still not really any malls nearby. They are actually building one right now, but it's going to take a couple more years to finish. So right now you have to drive from here if you're trying to get to a mall or shopping center. So that's one of the biggest downsides. And another one is that there is still quite a lot of construction happening. This area is still developing, and it's going to take a couple more years until it's fully finished. And because of all the construction in rush hour, it's really difficult to get out of Emaar Beachfront. So if you are tied to a working schedule where you have to leave around 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. on weekdays, it can get very, very crowded, and it's sometimes 20 to 30 minutes just to get out from the area. So that is a downside that has kind of developed recently, but overall I can still say this is an amazing place to live, especially if you are coming from Europe and you want to experience that similar kind of lifestyle where you have the beach near you. Then the next one is Palm Jumeirah. Palm Jumeirah is obviously one of the most exclusive and central areas. There's an amazing mall there. There is a bunch of restaurants and bars and clubs. It's also quite walkable, I would say. Obviously, Dubai in general is not super walkable, so you definitely want to have a car. But Palm Jumeirah is a great place to just have a walk. There is also a nice park there. One con is that traffic can also get quite bad there, but to be honest, that's pretty much the case with all of Dubai. Also, the apartments are a little bit older, and if you are trying to go for a super new development, it's going to be insanely expensive. So as much as I love Palm Jumeirah, and I think it's a good option, especially if you're looking for kind of a nice beachfront lifestyle, I do think that for the money there are some better options like Harbour or like Emaar Beachfront, but Palm Jumeirah still an amazing place to live, especially if you can afford to live in a villa and rent one of the villas on the fronts. I think that's about as nice as Dubai gets, but that's just a personal opinion. I know some people say Emirates Hills is way better for villas, or Dubai Hills is way better. I personally lived on the Palm for about 1 month in a villa and I absolutely loved every single second of it. Then in the waterfront category, we have JBR and Marina. The reason I'm putting them together is because they are kind of like built in one place. JBR and Marina are both very touristy areas, but there is a lot of options for different apartments there. It's pretty much the only walkable part of the city in my opinion. If you live in Marina, you have all the restaurants, gyms, coffee shops in one place, and you don't really have to walk more than 5 minutes to get to anywhere you want. So in my opinion, if you don't want to use a car, Marina is one of the best options for that. However, it is very busy, it is very crowded, and there are a lot of tourists there. So if you want more of a peaceful lifestyle, then maybe I would consider skipping that. But if you don't mind the hustle and bustle, then I think Marina and also JBR are two pretty good options for you. And last but not least, if you're on a budget but you still want to be near the water, JLT is also a good option for you. It's a bit further out and the apartments are generally a little bit older, but again, you get much more affordable prices. It's still close to the marina and the views are not as nice, but again, from a value for money perspective, I think it's a good choice as well if you want to be near the water. Alright, my next category is family focused areas. There is a bunch of these in Dubai and there's a bunch of these little communities across the entire cityscape. So I'm just going to highlight the ones where I have people who I know living and that they actually enjoy, and the ones that I've liked as well. But there is again so many options here, it's really difficult to just highlight one or two. But the main one that I can definitely recommend for families is Dubai Hills. If you get a townhouse in Dubai Hills, you're probably really going to like it. There is a beautiful park there. It's generally speaking quite peaceful and there isn't that much traffic there pretty much ever. Also, it has really good connectivity, so whether you're trying to go to Marina or downtown, it's not difficult to get there at all. The main con for Dubai Hills in my opinion is that it is pretty far out from the sea, so it actually is quite a lot hotter compared to, for example, Emaar Beachfront. Like, let's say if it's 30 Celsius degrees here in Emaar Beachfront, it's going to be probably 34 or even 33, potentially even 35 in, let's say, Dubai Hills. So generally you want to expect that if you are further out from the sea, it will be a little bit hotter in those areas. Then the last category is city life. If you are really looking for that Dubai city experience, the skyline, all the different lights at night, then one of the best options for you is probably going to be downtown. And also another favorite of mine within downtown is City Walk. I had one of my friends living in City Walk. I also lived in downtown for about 3 months and overall I had a good time. I personally really want to be close to the sea, that's why I decided to not stay in downtown. But if you are, into business, if you have to go to a lot of meetings, you're going to a lot of restaurant reservations, then downtown and also City Walk are two amazing options for you. And yeah, you can't really go wrong with it as long as you pick a good and established building that has a lot of positive reviews from tenants. The main downside to downtown, for me personally at least, is the traffic. Again, it can get insanely crowded in rush hour and it's pretty much like standstill traffic a lot of times, especially around Dubai Mall. So if you are not really into that, then I would consider like maybe trying it out for a week, but then maybe you will like some other areas more. However, if you want to be in the center of everything happening and all of the business life, then again, downtown is definitely your choice. And then another area which I can highly recommend in that sort of region is Business Bay. If you are looking for something a little bit more budget budget friendly, but something that is still close to downtown and you're still close to the action, then Business Bay has a lot of nice buildings to offer, quite affordable prices. Now let's talk about areas you want to avoid. And again, this is just a personal opinion type of thing. And also I'm highly aware that not everybody wants to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 plus on rent. So I totally understand. And if you live in one of these areas, I'm not trying to personally insult you. I'm just talking mainly with this video to people who are probably entrepreneurs or have a nice and high paying career. Maybe they are relocating from Europe, Canada, or Australia, and they are looking to have as nice of a lifestyle or something that's close to what they used to have back home or even better. So I personally would recommend avoiding Daira. Again, nothing wrong with it. It's just that if you're coming from Europe, Australia, or Canada, or any of these countries, you're probably not really going to like Daira. You're probably going to feel a little bit out of place. Again, it's still safe. All of the areas in Dubai are safe. It doesn't matter how cheap of an area you go to. It's just that you're probably not going to like how crowded it is, the design and the architecture of the buildings, and just overall the vibe there is very different probably than from the Dubai experience that you are expecting. So if you are looking to get something that's much cheaper in terms of rent, it's an area you could look at, but you will not get that kind of Dubai lifestyle experience that you see in all of the videos. And another area that is actually super popular but I would be cautious with is JVC. Now again, I don't want to offend anybody who lives in JVC. There is definitely a lot of really nice apartment buildings there, but for me personally, I lived there for a couple of weeks and I couldn't wait to be out of it. Okay, so the traffic can get really bad in JVC. There is a lot of dust, a lot of construction, and the biggest thing is JVC is not like a master community. And what that means is there are these communities which are, let's say, all the entire thing. It's like a master plan community where one developer makes the entire thing. With JVC, the different plots were sold to different developers, so all the buildings are pretty much managed by different companies. There isn't really as much of a default look in that place. And what I mean by that is like all the buildings are kind of different. They are managed by different companies at different levels. So it's quite easy, I would say, in, for example, JVC, to pick a building that might have really poor management or might have quality issues. So on top of all the dust, the construction, and the traffic, that's another thing you want to keep in mind. If you are going with a building that was made by a very small developer that doesn't really have a name in the city and that doesn't really have high standards, then that can really affect your overall living experience. Imagine your AC breaks. Imagine you have a water leak. If you're not, living in a building that has good management, well, you could be struggling with that for weeks on end. So in my opinion, definitely look at the areas that fit your budget and that you like the most for how much you're willing to pay, but also look at the developer who actually created that building and who's running it and the reputation that they have, because it will also really affect your overall experience living at that place. Again, there is a lot of other areas as well that I'm personally not the biggest fan of, but it's all personal preference at the end of the day and what you value and how much you are willing to spend. If you're thinking about relocating to Dubai, opening your company here, getting your residency, getting bank accounts, and also finding the right apartment for you to rent, then check out the first link in the description down below where you can apply for a free consultation call and we can explain to you exactly how we can help entrepreneurs, probably like you as well, to relocate here in an entirely VIP fast track process so you can move here and get everything right the first time without any headaches. I really hope you found this video insightful. If you want to learn more about the entire experience of moving to Dubai and all the things to look out for, check out some of the other videos on the channel as well, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one.